Hello everyone and welcome back to Thomas and DG Couples and Ships 19 and today's episode of Thomas and Friends What If is going to be about what if all stories from the Railway series were adapted for TV. And please keep in mind, at the time I'm making this video, I haven't got every Railway series book yet, even though most of them are on my to-get list. So yeah, they would have most likely adapted Mrs. Kindly's Christmas around season 1, when they adapted the other three, Toby the Tram Engine stories, well, stories from Toby the Tram Engine. Yes. Okay, next we have got mountain engines. And they probably wouldn't have adapted it for the TV series during the model era because, believe it or not, mountains are quite expensive to make on the model set. So it would have most likely been around the CGI era of Thomas and Friends. Probably around season... I'm not too sure which season it could have been adapted around, but I'm probably going to assume it's season 21. If you have any ideas of when the Mountain Engines trilogy would have been adapted in what season, then do comment below. Next, we have got very old engines, and I'm thinking it may have been adapted sometime around, I don't know, late season 4 or mid-season 5 per se. Yeah, have your say in the comment section below. And I'm assuming Super Rescue would have been adapted during season 3. Yeah, remember when I briefly talked about Super Rescue in yesterday's episode of Thomas and Friends What If? And I am assuming they would have adapted Stop Thief and Triple Header during season 4, since that's when the other two stories from Really Useful Engines were adapted. For the James and the Diesel Engines trilogy, it's kind of hard to find a season to put this one in, but I am kind of assuming maybe late season 3 or probably early season 4. Yeah, I'm sure that is when the stories from that book would have been adapted. But if you have your say, leave it in the comment section below. For the Gordon the High Speed Engine trilogy, I'm not entirely sure when they could have adapted that book, but probably because they may have not had the budget to build models of Pip and Emma, they would have probably also adapted it during the CGI era of Thomas and Friends. And I'd say probably around season 20, if not maybe season 19. Have your say in the comment section below. As for Mavis and the Lorry and Toby Takes the Road, I think those stories would have definitely been adapted for season 4 when they adapted the other two stories from Toby Trucks and Trouble, and it would have most likely been pushed into one episode and called, I don't know, Lorries and Roads. Have your say. I can assume Bluebells of England would have been adapted during season 4, whilst we can assume Drip Tank would have been aired in season 2. Yeah, I've always thought it could be merged with Thomas, Percy and Nicole and had a different title. Next, we have got the Jock the New Engine trilogy, and I'm just going to straight out say it could have at least been adapted during maybe season 21 after they introduced Rex, Bert and Mike in Sodor's Legend of the Lost Treasure. And speaking of that, Ballast would have most likely been adapted either around during the events of Sodor's Legend of the Lost Treasure or as in season 20. Yeah. Oh, and as for Thomas and the Great Railway Show trilogy, well, maybe it could have been adapted for season 7. I'll explain why in for the next one. Okay, for Thomas Comes Home, let's say Snow Problem would have most likely been adapted during season 20, where Daisy gets quite a few lead episodes to herself. Washout, I'm assuming it would have been adapted at the end of season 17 because think about it. At the beginning of Tale of the Brave, the narrator said that a bridge on Thomas's branch line was broken and, take it into depth, that bridge could have been the same one from Washout. Yet, as for Toby's Mega Train, it's quite hard to find a season for that one, but it would have most likely been adapted during, I'm thinking maybe season 8. I don't know, because in that season they gave all the focus episodes to the Sting team at the time. But but Thomas Comes Home, I'm thinking it would have been adapted before 3 Cheers for Thomas in season 7. Because if you think about the plot for that episode, you'll see what I mean. Anyways, Henry and the Express. I'm thinking they would have adapted that trilogy sometime around in the CGI era, because what if the team didn't have enough money to make a model of Henry being painted red? Yeah, it could have been adapted during the CGI era, and I'm not too sure which season I would have said. Maybe it could have been, I don't know, season 20, when Henry's character butchers were reverted back. You have your say in the comment section below. We haven't got that many more to go with now. Next, we have got Wilbert the Forest Engine. Okay, yes, it is kind of possible they could have adapted it during the CGI era. Yeah. And maybe I'll say it could have been adapted. I'm not sure. Maybe sometime after the events of, after Journey Beyond Sodor was released. Yeah, maybe during late season 21 or early season 22. The reason for this is because in that special, we were introduced to the Steelworks and 2 Steelworks engines, Hurricane and Frankie. So it could be very possible on that. Next, we have got Thomas and the Fat Controller's engines. Now, I know it could have been impossible to adapt it during the model era, but I think they would have most likely adapted it during season 2019, and yes, I do mean all stories from there, when the franchise was in its 70th anniversary. Yeah, I'm not an expert here at guessing when certain episodes would have most likely been adapted, but these are just my guesses. For the Thomas and the Twins trilogy, let's just say it could have been adapted around season 3. Yeah. Which was the next one? Oh yeah, New Little Engine. Maybe I'll say season 16. I don't know. It just kind of feels like that way to me. Yeah, please note, I haven't read any of these books yet per se, but as for the Thomas and and Victoria, well, because it was published in 2007, let's say it could have been published during season 11. Yeah, and I am thinking about mid-season 11. Now then, Thomas and His Friends, the final book in the Railway series. Thomas and the Swan. They could have probably adapted that one. Well, it would have been impossible to adapt it during season 3 because a little piece of trivia you might not know is that the reason why half of the episodes in season 3 were magazine adaptations is because, wait, you can look it up online and you'll see what I'm talking about. So, let's say it could have been adapted during season 17, maybe. Okay, buffer bashing. Well, let's say that one could have been adapted during season 20, you know, where Donald and Douglas return in full CGI. Gordon's Fire Service, they would have probably adapted it during season 17 as well. And last but not least, Centenary. I'm thinking they should have adapted it during season 24, I guess. Yeah. Okay, yeah, when I say railway series stories, I'm not referring to the spin-off books because I'll save that for another day. But anyways, I hope you enjoyed this video. Thank you all so much for watching. Be sure to leave me a comment, subscribe, share, thumbs up, request, and all that good stuff. Leave your requests for ideas of what if. And I will see you in the next video. Bye for now.